I'll be explaining to you how to simplify, multiply, divide, add, and subtract fractions. So let's start off by simplifying fractions. Let's say we had 10 over 25. The first step is to look at the numerator and the denominator and find a number that both the numerator and the denominator can be divisible by. So 10 can be divisible by 5 and 25 can be divisible by 5 as well. We have to make sure that we find the same number. So I just found the highest common factor of these numbers. 10 divided by 5 is 2, and then you do 25 divided by 5 is 5. And that will be the answer. Now, we cannot simplify 2 over 5 further because 2 and 5 cannot be divisible by any number that is the same except for 1. But we don't do that because it will still remain as the same answer. So now we do 2 over 8. 2 can be divisible by 2, and 8 can be divisible by 2 as well. They are the same numbers. So that will be 1 over 4. Once again, we cannot simplify this further. Addition, we have to look at the denominators and see if they are the same numbers. In this case, 5 and 4 are different numbers, so we have to find the lowest common multiple for 5 and 4 to make them the same. So the lowest common multiple for 5 and 4 is 20. The next step is to count how many times did the number 4 go into 20. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It went into 20 5 times. So we write next to it times 5. And we also have to write times 5 to the numerator, just like we did to the denominator. So now let's count how many times 5 went into 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we write times 4. And we also have to write times 4 to the numerator. So now we simply times the numbers. So 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 5 over 20. Now we have to add the numerators together, which will equal 13. And for the denominators, since they are the same numbers now, we do not add them. It will not equal 40. That will be the incorrect answer. Instead, we leave it as 20, and this will be the answer. Subtraction is very similar to addition. We have to look at the denominators, and since they are different numbers, we have to find the lowest common multiple. And like we did before, the lowest common multiple for 5 and 4 is 20. So 5 goes into 20 4 times, and then we also have to add it to the numerator, and 4 goes into 20 5 times. So we also have to add it to the numerator. Then the next step is to simply times it. Now we have to do 8 minus 5. That will be 3. And then, once again, for the denominators, we do not make it 0. We do not minus it. Instead, we leave it 20. Now, let's do multiplication. Multiplication is very easy. To multiply fractions, you simply just have to times the numerators and times the denominators. So 2 times 1 is 2, and then 5 times 4 is 20. And that will be the answer. We can also simplify this to 1 over 10. And now let's do division. 2 over 5 divided by 1 over 4. For division, we have to look at the second fraction and do the inverse. So we have to switch 1 and we also have to switch 4. Let me show you. 4 will now become the numerator and 1 will now become the denominator. And then the next step is to get rid of this division symbol and replace it with the time for the multiplication symbol. And then we simply just times the numerators and the denominators. So 2 times 4 equals 8. And 5 times 1 equals 5. So that will be the answer. So the answer was 8 over 5. And this can also equal 1 whole and 3 over 8. Thank you for listening. I hope you understand how to simplify, multiply, divide, add, and subtract fractions.